What appears to be wisdom is often guesswork, and what appears to be madness may be deliberate performance. Private actions are quickly turned into public evidence, and careful observation replaces genuine understanding. The court of Denmark rushes to explain Hamlet before trying to even listen to him. Spying, misinterpretation, and false certainty begin to shape the direction of the play. The second act is usually the rising action. So let's see how the action rises and how tension builds up in Hamlet Act 2, Scene 1. From the courtroom, we are taken away to a private house, the house of Polonius. This scene is a room in Polonius's house, and we see Polonius and Reynaldo speaking to each other. Who is Reynaldo? He is just a random guy who Polonius is going to use to spy upon his son. Laertes, you remember, he was supposed to go back from Denmark, and Polonius is not very certain about how Laertes is going to behave once he is out of Polonius's sight. Give him this money and these notes, Reynaldo. And Reynaldo says, okay. You shall do marvelous wisely, good Reynaldo, before you visit him to make inquire of his behavior. So Polonius's primary objective is not to send some notes or money to his son. His primary object is to find out about Laertes, what he's doing in his father's absence. My lord, I did intend it. So Reynaldo also knows Polonius's intention, and he says that I was supposed to do that. I know that. Marry, well said, very well said. Look you, sir. Inquire me first what danskers are in Paris. Danskers means people from Denmark, the Danish people, and how and who, what means, and where they keep, what company, at what expense. So, Reynaldo is supposed to know about the Danes who are living in Paris and what kind of living conditions they are in, their friends, okay, their whereabouts, and finding by this encompassment and drift of questions. So, you will be asking these kinds of questions that they do know my son. So you go first, find out who are the people from Denmark, where they live, and once you find them out, ask them about my son. And Polonius also gives Reynaldo a very good detail about what kind of questions he's supposed to ask them. Come you more in nearer than your particular demands will touch it. So while asking these questions, you try to gently guide the conversation so that you can confirm whether they know my son. Take you, as it were, some distant knowledge of him, then tell them that you know Laertes by some means. Maybe you know his father, maybe you know him by any other way. And thus, I know his father and his friends, and in part him. Do you mark this, Reynaldo? So, Polonius doesn't want Reynaldo to be very open about these kinds of questions, to use some strategies so that the people with whom Reynaldo will be talking, they would not feel suspicious that why is he asking so many questions. Ah, very well, my lord. And in part him, but you may say not well. So don't tell them that you know my son very well. Then they will not give you any information. Tell them that you know little about him. But if it be he, I mean, he is very wild. Now, Polonius is asking Reynaldo to tell these people that Laertes is wild and he's susceptible to mistakes of the youth, and rather add some scandalous details so that those people will also in turn say things about Laertes. All right? It's like, one rumor brings out truth in the process. That kind of a psychology is at play here. So he says that tell them that he's very wild, addicted, so and so, and there put on him what forgeries you please. Whatever crime comes to your mind. Forgery means, cheating somebody in money, those kinds of things. Mary, none so rank as may dishonor him. Take heed of that. So don't use very heavy crimes to accuse him of. But, things that people in their youth are susceptible to, use those crimes to link them to Laertes, so that the people who will listen to you, they will trust you and they will tell you things. The thing is that how can a father deliberately use this kind of a strategy where his son's reputation is going to be tarnished? Polonius doesn't care. He wants the truth, even at this cost. But, sir, such wanton, wild, and usual slips as our companions noted and most known to youth and liberty. Now, he's a young man, he is free to do whatever he wants. So, obviously, he will engage in certain things that otherwise he would not do. So he is asking Reynaldo to put certain blames on Laertes in order to make the listeners trust Reynaldo and give him information about Laertes. The thing is that what character emerges out of this? How do you look at Polonius once you see him like this? First of all, he doesn't trust his son. Second is he treats fatherhood as a matter of surveillance and control. He is calculative, he is manipulative, and very, very overbearing. This much you can understand. Rinaldo gives some example as gaming, my lord. Aye, or drinking, fencing, swearing, quarreling, drabbing, you may go so far. So these are the crimes or faults that you can associate Laertes with once you speak with these Danish people. My lord, that would dishonor him. So if I go on telling people that he drinks a lot, fencing is engaged in sword fights, okay, and often as part of gambling, okay, all these things. So Ronaldo is worried that if I go on saying these things, it would go against him. Faith, no. Polonius is least bothered. As you may season it in the charge, you must not put another scandal on him. So just choose one and don't just add one scandal over another. That he is open to incontinency, that's not my meaning, but breathe his faults so quaintly. So, in a very light hearted way, you speak about these faults so that they may seem the taints of liberty, the flash and outbreak of a fiery mind. People will just think that he's a young man, so it's natural for him to indulge in these kinds of things. A savageness in unreclaimed blood of general assault. So these are very common things in young people, so I don't think it's going to tarnish his reputation to that extent. But my good lord, so Ronaldo wants to put some sense in him. Wherefore should you do this? I, my lord, I would know that. So Ronaldo knows that Polonius is not to listen to any kind of counter argument in this, and he says, okay, fine, I'll do this. Sir, here's my drift. So this is my line of thinking, and I believe it is a fetch of wit. It's very ingenious of me to think about this strategy. You laying these slight sullies on my son when you associate Laertes with these small faults, as it were a thing a little soiled in the working, mark you, your party in converse, the person with whom you are talking, him you would sound, having ever seen in the prenominate crimes the youth you breathe of guilty, be assured he closes with you in this consequence, good sir, or so, or friend, or gentleman, according to the phrase or the addition of man and country. So the thing is that if Laertes has actually done these things, then the person with whom you're talking, he will agree with you and he will also say, yes, yes, you're right. I have seen him doing this, this, this. So that will confirm that crime or that fault. Very good, my lord. And then, sir, does he this? He does. What was I about to say? Now, Polonius is losing track of his own conversation. By the mass, I was about to say something. Why did I leave? So he is so preoccupied with his own witty language that he is losing track of his own points. And Reynaldo helps him at clauses in the consequence, at friend or so, and gentleman at clauses in the consequence. So he's trying to again get his brain to function by that prompt. I marry. He closes thus. I know the gentleman. I saw him yesterday. So after you talk about Laertes and the gentleman with whom you're talking, that person will say that I know the gentleman, that is Laertes. I saw him yesterday or the other day or then with such or such. And as you say, there was a gaming, there overtook in rouse, there falling out at tennis, or perchance I saw him enter such a house of sale, videlicet, a brothel, or so forth. See you now? So Polonius is thinking that the person with whom Ronaldo will be speaking will be giving him information like this. And then he says a very important thing. He says, your bait of falsehood. That means when Ronaldo is first accusing Laertes of certain faults or misdeeds, those are false allegations because Ronaldo is making them up to bring out the truth from the person he is talking to. So this is like a bait. What is a bait? Bait is something with which you catch a fish or an animal. So it's like a trap, an object with which you attract the animal you're about to hunt. So he says it's like a bait. Your falsehood is a bait, and with that bait, you will catch the truth. And so, truth here is compared to a carp. Carp is a kind of a fish. So, your small lie acts as a bait and it will catch truth as if truth is a fish. And thus do we of wisdom and of reach, with windlasses and with assays of bias, by indirections find directions out. So, this is how we do things. We find out things. So, this is how clever people work, by using indirect methods to reach a direct end. So, by my former lecture and advice, shall you, my son, you have me, have you not? So, are you paying attention? My lord, I have. God be with you, fare you well, and Ronaldo leaves. Now, the thing is that after Reynaldo leaves, we have Ophelia coming. Now, once Polonius's character is well established in front of us, that he believes that fatherhood is all about surveillance, about control when it comes to his son, then imagine the kind of control he is expecting to exert over Ophelia, his daughter. Ophelia comes in and he asks her, how now, Ophelia, what's the matter? Oh, my lord, I have been so frighted. With what, in the name of God? Why are you so scared, my lord? Now, some of you might feel, why is she addressing her father as my lord? That was like a protocol, and usually the official way to address your father if your father was a courtier, okay, or a royal personage. Usually people used to address them as my lord. My lord, as I was sewing in my closet, so Ophelia was in her closet and she was sewing. Lord Hamlet, with his doublet all unbraced, so Hamlet had come, and his overcoat, that is his doublet, it was unbuttoned. No hat upon his head, his stockings fouled, ungartered, and down jived to his ankle, pale as his shirt, his knees knocking each other, and with a look so piteous in purport, as if he had been loosed out of hell to speak of horrors, he comes before me. Hamlet, his dress all in a very messy situation, he approached Ophelia when she was in her closet sewing. Mad for thy love? Polonius is a person who always feels that he knows everything about everybody. So he already knows why Hamlet is mad or behaving in a mad way. He thinks that Hamlet is mad because of Ophelia. Now, what is important is that we get to know about Hamlet's mad behavior not as a direct experience on stage, but through this indirect narration. through the eyes of Ophelia. So, from the very beginning of Act 2, Hamlet is constructed as a subject who is to be observed, described, and you can say diagnosed rather than understood. So, everybody is trying to diagnose his problem. And Ophelia becomes the medium through whom Hamlet is studied. Mad for thy love? My lord, I do not know, but truly I do fear it. What said he? He took me by the wrist and held me hard. Then goes he to the length of all his arm. So first Hamlet held her by her wrist and then drew her back, stretching his arm, and with his other hand thus over his brow. So he was holding his other hand over his brow. He falls to such perusal of my face. So he was looking at the face of Ophelia with such intensity, as he would draw it, as if he is a painter and she is a model, and he is looking at him intently to remember all the lines of her face so that he can draw her. Long stayed he so. At last, a little shaking of mine arm, and thrice his head thus waving up and down. So he waved his head up and down. He raised a sigh. So he breathed out. He was holding his breath. So piteous and profound, so deep a sigh, as it did seem to shatter all his bulk and end his being. That done, he lets me go, and with his head over his shoulder turned, he seemed to find his way without his eyes. That is, he was not actually looking at the way he was going. For out of doors he went without their helps, as if he was walking out of the place, out of the doors, without even looking properly. So he was not using his eyes. And to the last, bended their light on me. And he bent his sight to look at Ophelia. Come, go with me. I will go seek the king. This is the very ecstasy of love, whose violent property foredoes itself and leads the will to desperate undertakings as oft as any passion under heaven that does afflict our natures. So he says that there are many things which upset us, which make us behave in a weird way, but love is one of the most potent reasons. So he's kind of very sure that Ophelia, or rather love for Ophelia, has turned Hamlet mad. I'm sorry, what? Have you given him any hard words of late? So did you have a fight with him or something? So Polonius always wants a direct cause and effect kind of a thing, an argument where he is sure of logical reasonings. But Ophelia is not analyzing anything. Polonius is analyzing. No, my good lord, but as you did command, I did repel his fetters and denied his access to me. So I didn't have a fight with him, but I was not speaking to him. That hath made him mad. Polonius is very, very certain. I'm sorry that with better heed and judgment I had not quoted him. I feared he did but trifle, and meant to wreck thee. But beshrew my jealousy. So he says that I thought Hamlet was not serious about you, and I tried to stop him from harming you. But that was my jealousy, my overprotectiveness. By heaven, it is as proper to our age to cast beyond ourselves in our opinions. So I am an old man, and my wisdom makes me think about those things in advance. As it is common for the younger sort to lack discretion, because you people are young, you will make mistakes. So it's our job to stop you from doing those mistakes. So I kind of warned you against Hamlet. Anyways, come, go we to the king, this must be known, which being kept close might move more grief to hide than hate to utter love. So he does not want to keep this from the king. Maybe he feels that informing the king about this relationship of Ophelia and Hamlet will somehow make him more important in the court. I don't know. But he really wants to rush things and wants to inform everything to the king and the queen. So, what this scene gives us is that it confirms Hamlet's antic disposition, which he was talking about previously. Madness is shown indirectly. Polonius's first major misreading, that is, he thinks that Hamlet's madness is due to his love for Ophelia and because Ophelia is rejecting his advances. But why is Hamlet mad actually? Is he really mad? We don't know that even for sure. But whatever it is more in connection with his father's murder than in connection with Ophelia's relationship with him. But Polonius misreads. Surveillance replaces conversation instead of speaking directly to people. All these indirect methods are resorted to, be it Reynaldo inquiring about Laertes, be it Ophelia talking about Hamlet to Polonius. So, direct conversation is not something which is prioritized, more like surveillance, more like indirect observation is given value. So, first, Polonius spies or wants to spy on his son, and now he wants to spy on Hamlet through his daughter. And what about Ophelia? Ophelia is established as a very docile personality who is rather acted upon than somebody who acts. So she's never in control, not even in her denials of Hamlet. That is also something which her father has ordered her. So this scene establishes rising action, you can say, in a way that it creates a curiosity in us and shows how the madness of Hamlet is going to be a matter of not just personal relationship, but a matter of public investigation. So, with this, we end the scene today, but I'll meet you very soon. Don't go anywhere. Stay subscribed. Stay happy. This is Monami Mukherjee signing off. Bye bye.